Greetings of peace and love, everybody. My name is Ram Hotep, broadcasting on behalf of 13scienceastrology.com. The reason for this video is because one of my fellow listeners out there wanted me to answer a question. And their question was, when I use certain hand signs, am I a devil worshiper? Like, say, for instance, if I do this, or if I do this, or if I do this, or if I do this, am I a devil worshiper? No. That's what this video is about. Sometimes, like, when I talk, you know what I'm saying, before I really get into like the occult aspect of it, like, sometimes when I talk with my hands in general. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you might see me just doing different things with my hands or whatever. So you might see me doing that, and I've been used to doing that because, like, I've always been a person that, like, basically, like, talk with my hands or whatever. I don't know if it came from back in the days when I used to gang bang and I used to throw up different signs and stuff like that, but I don't know if it came from me rapping and, like, being an MC. And a lot of times when you rap, you know, you make your hands and you form your hands different types of ways. I don't know if it came from any of that, but I just wanted to let people know that if I do this, though, specifically, somebody said that I was a devil worshiper because I did that or whatever, and I'm not a devil worshiper when I do that. People fail to realize that your hands are energy, or is energy here. Like, you can heal people with your hands, you can hurt people with your hands. There's a lot of energy located around your hands, like in general. They're very powerful. So when you form your hands certain ways and do things like that, you can channel in energy. Now, if you notice that the ancients, like if you look at some of the ancient Hindu deities and even the ancient Egyptian deities, you would see them throwing up different hand signs and stuff like that. And even back then, like, were they devil worshippers? You couldn't call an Egyptian a devil worshiper because there was no such thing as the devil back then. So they were throwing up different hand signs, but they weren't called devil worshippers. I mean, you see pictures of the Buddha doing this. You see pictures of the Buddha in certain poses doing that. Was he a devil worshiper? So what I'm pointing out here is that your hands link to different aspects of your, you have chakras in your hands for one thing, but then you actually have sinus points. Like your fingertips are sinus points. So say, for instance, when you go like that and you're breathing, you're channeling in breath. It's kind of like if you play an instrument, it'll make a lot of sense. Like, okay, if you put one, like, say, for instance, you're playing the clarinet and you put your hand over one hole on the clarinet, it'll make one note. But you put your hand over two holes on the clarinet, it'll make a different note. It's the same thing with your breath. When you breathe holding your hands like this, you channeling the energy one kind of way, versus when you breathe and holding your hands like, you're channeling energy a different type of way when you do that. And if you do that over prolonged periods of time, you'll feel the difference. And you'll tune yourself up through your breath in different ways. You'll tune your aura up through your breath, through your power of your hands in different ways. Now, you can also form your hands and do different hand signs when you're talking and speaking and things like that, and that helps you to bring energy down. That helps you to be able to channel your ancestors, because when you form certain hand signs and things like that, it makes you into more of a channel. So a lot of times when you're speaking, whether it's doing videos, public speaking, whatever, when you start to use your hands, you notice the information flows out better, and that's because of the fact that your hands are energy that helps you to channel. Like that's why when people channel, like, they either type, or if they channel verbally, a lot of times they use their hands. And a lot of times rappers, people fail to realize that rappers are, a lot of times when they're so-called freestyling, they're channeling. That's why they're, like, moving their hands around and stuff like that. Like, you're channeling through your hands. So I use my hands a lot to channel or whatever. I'm not a part of a gang or anything like that just because I form my hands a certain kind of way or whatever. I mean, that's basically, if you study anything about breath and you look into anything like the palm ministry and all that, you'll find out that you can connect through different organs and different chakras through your hands. So I mean, you can get into acupuncture and reflexology alone and to learn about that. And massage therapists out there know what I'm talking about. So no, Ram Hotep is not a part of any type of gang or some type of a devil worshiping thing or whatever you're talking about. I know somebody had left that as a comment. So now people say that when you do this is supposed to be the horns and some type of devil's horns or whatever. And people fail to realize that when you start an occult order, like, there's different occult orders out there, right? They might share different hand signs, but to them that hand sign means one thing, you know what I'm saying? But then to this order it might mean another thing. It's just like with symbols, like with gang literature and gang lit and symbols. Like, did you know that a lot of astrological symbols are actually gang symbols, like gang literature and symbols or whatever? Like a whole lot of the astrological symbols that we use in astrology. So I mean, people don't realize, like, these symbols, like, you might see a symbol and be like, oh, that symbol means that. Well, in that culture, it might mean that. But in this language, it means that. Or in this culture, it means that. So it's the same thing with like a hand sign. I mean, if you see somebody throwing up a hand sign, that don't mean you can't say they're in that order and they're a part of this, and you just start to bring all this extra stuff and put all this extra stuff on that person just because they put up their hand a certain kind of way. So I just want to shed a little bit of light on that. You got a lot of people out here that are just lost. People are lost or whatever, and that's because it's a lot of information that's faulty out here on YouTube, and people are watching it and accepting it, and they're believing it. So when they see something like somebody on YouTube saying, well, everybody throws up this, that means there was a devil worshiper. Like, that's not true. You better do more research before you start accusing and slandering people of being something. You got to do your research. So, I mean, you got people like all over YouTube or whatever, like making these videos talking about the Illuminati and stuff like that, but they give half information. They always do that. Like, they'll say one thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll talk about the Illuminati, and they'll say, like, say for instance, they'll say the Illuminati is basically a group of bankers and they control the world and blah blah blah. You know, like the whole thing. So everybody automatically thinks if you're into banking or anything like that, then you're in the Illuminati. See what I'm saying? Like, people make conclusions based on when they hear something in a documentary, and they automatically think that that's the way everything is, and that's religion. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it takes more than just watching a YouTube video to really grasp this knowledge and these metaphysics and stuff like that. Like, you need to really get a book. You need to really do some research, and really, not only that, you need to go like on what's called like a fact-finding mission, which means go out on a journey to learn information. Like, if you really want to learn the truth, you know what I'm saying, you got to go out and learn the truth and go on a journey to learn the truth. The truth ain't gonna come to you from just watching a video or whatever, and that's what happens. I'm not saying don't watch a video. I'm saying watch a video in a perspective of knowing that this is this person's opinion, this is this person's information. Okay, I'm gonna grasp that and absorb that. Then let me go and study this person and see what they have to say. But no, most people, they want to take everything in. Then if it's one part they don't like, then they get like, oh, I don't want to deal with it no more. And that means you're just not open. That means you're still religious. But when you become conscious and aware, you learn how to compartmentalize and learn how to, okay, I'm gonna deal with this information on this level, I'm gonna deal with that information on that level. You learn how to be what's called multi-dimensional instead of linear. So I'm saying all that to say that this is all going back to hand signs or whatever. So when you see your people forming their hands a certain way, you'll know, like an enlightened person would be like, okay, let me find out more about this person to see maybe they are into this or into that. You won't make assumptions. So that's going to do it for me. Though I'm not a devil worshiper, I just formed my hands certain ways to channel energy, simply. So thank you for listening and watching, and until we meet again, I'll leave you all in peace.